Welcome back to episode 3 of Press A to Talk. We're doing a Cyberpunk preview. That's pretty much what this entire episode is about, and I'm joined with my co-host Michael.
Hey, how's it going?
And Neko.
Good to be back.
All right. Well, yep. Cyberpunk. Okay. Yeah.
Cannot wait.
I'm excited.
Cannot wait.
Let's talk about what we've been playing this week.
Okay.
So, Jake, how about you go first?
I did a bad thing.
What you mean?
I did what you told me not to do, and I bought DMC5 Special Edition.
Don't you do it?
Well, all right. So now that that's out of the way, like, why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, it's really good. Devil May Cry is like, it's really hard for me to get into every time I play a new one, and I do consider this sort of to be a new one because I'm not familiar with Virgil at all. I didn't play with him in. Was he available in 3? Like
and
a special
4.
edition and 4. I have the special edition of both, but I haven't played him in either. And learning to play with a whole new character in Devil May Cry is like, it's not Bayonetta, it's not super smashy. You do have to learn combos, and to get like the triple S super smoking sexy whatever it's called,
Sexy style.
You can't just spam the same combo over again. You
Yeah.
do have to mix it up, and you do have to switch weapons, and the more you play, the more addictive it gets when you get better at the combos.
Oh yeah.
And I'm loving it. Yeah.
What difficulty are you playing on?
Don't ask me those questions,
Bro, I need to know.
You cannot expose them that way. Come on now.
I want to look cool, so I'm playing on basically the medium, which is Devil Hunter.
Oh, come on, bro. Like, try Legendary Dark Knight.
Yeah, I will.
Fight with like 70 billion enemies in the screen.
Dude, it was insane. Like, he actually played it, and this single hotel room had over 500 people. It was like something of like 10 by 10 square. Had so many folks to the point that you don't even see your character in it. You're just jumping around, seeing everything fly.
But not a single frame rate drop. That is amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Virgil is that type of character that can handle that, though.
Yeah, that his whole move kit is like almost designed specifically for Legendary Dark Knight mode, because all of his moves cover a wide range, and so like you can literally pick up enemies easy, like as opposed to Nero, because I started with Nero, and one, because you start basically with 0 abilities or 0 devil breakers or anything like that. So you have nothing. And it's really hard to get anything going with Nero. So I think Legendary Dark Knight mode was specifically designed to be played with Virgil.
Yes.
You can play with the other ones, but you have to have finished the game on a normal setting first, at least, to be able to unlock most of the stuff. Because trying to play a new game on that mode is insane.
I wonder how it would be like to like play with V. Can you play with V in the game?
You play with V in like certain areas.
Because I don't feel like he's good. Like, I don't know. I'm sorry, but first of all, he comes across like a major douche. That's the first. Second of all, like his playstyle just seems like so laid back, and like it seems like he's just how do you call it, a summoner, some other sorts.
Well, like you, the way that you play it is by he has this ability where you play. I think you press L1 plus square, or L1 plus triangle, and then you kind of like they basically like the summons basically move by themselves. So what you do is you press L1 plus square, so you could get the bird just doing all the stuff, and then you use the panther to do the combos, and then you get triple S
then
pretty
you
easy.
knock him in the air and you stab him. V is very satisfying if you really.
Is he?
Yeah.
If you actually spend the time to learn him, it's really good.
He just looks like the one, like your hero back in high school if you like grew up wanting to be grunge or like freaking goth. That's just too much for
It
me.
looks like he could be part of the goth kids from like South Park.
Yeah.
He's even more emo Kylo Ren.
He does have a Kylo Ren look to it.
And, what?
No, I was just about to say, like, I think you would enjoy V.
Yeah.
I haven't given the game entirely a try at all. I just need to like steal it from you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I love it, and I'm trying to finish up Hyrule Warriors, which is, the more I play it, the more I'm just like, this is just such a huge game. I'm like 35 hours in, and I think I'm nearing the last mission. I don't really know.
I actually started playing it too.
But I told you that it gets crazy, and I can't say too much, but it really does change, not just like what happens
in the story,
like before,
okay,
but it's going to, if this truly is canon, we're gonna see this like sprinkle into Breath of the Wild too.
Mm-hmm. I've been looking forward to finishing it because I actually like I haven't really had a chance to continue playing it, but I started to get back into it, and like I think I'm right now I just finished doing Daruk's and Mifa's story missions, so I'm jumping into Urbosa right now and leaving Rivali last. So and I have a good grasp of just how the story is kind of like playing out. It definitely looks a little bit more fleshed out because I think in the original Breath of the Wild it was kind of like I guess not really established but sort of implied that the champions were already like they were already assigned way before Link got turned into like Zelda's personal knight. Or rather, I mean, even then there was not really any not a lot of exposition on the champions, which is sad to say, honestly.
And there's still not, but we get to be with them more, which is
in
good.
This one for sure.
Yeah. Just keep playing it, because
I will.
Yeah.
So far, to talk about it, man.
Just halfway through the game, something's gonna happen, and you're gonna text me, and you're gonna be like, "What the hell?"
All right. I'll definitely sprinkle some more time into it for sure.
Okay.
Nico, have you been playing anything?
I actually got my hands on Apex again. Finally. Speaking of which, I got a couple of friends that they were like, I think this last Friday was it, or that there was like duels tournament. I was kind of salty because I really wanted to play, but it was like the start time. It's kind of by the time I got out of work, so I did not have enough time to jump in. Mm-hmm. So they had the duels tournament. They did they sound like they did pretty good. So bothers me because those two people is the people that I played the most. So like it would have been great to actually they had like a trio tournament or so. But nonetheless, I played a couple of games, got some dubs. After that, what other game did I think I did. I jumped back a little bit to the zombies again because I'm just still not, I haven't played it as much, so I'm still with the shoddy, mediocre shoddy. But other than that, it's just been busy with the house.
That's why. Funnily enough, there's something that happened with Call of Duty.
Yeah, you were telling me about it.
So yeah, it turns out that the Call of Duty has been breaking PS5 consoles.
Yeah, I read that actually. I think Review Tech USA did a video.
I am so happy that I haven't touched that game in a while.
It sounded like it was gonna be. I was like, "You sure you want to be playing?"
Because I remember in the first episode, I was like playing it, and I was telling like how there were like a lot of optimization issues, and like it was lagging and it was like crashing, and I was like, "What is going on?"
And it was just the game because Devil May Cry did not have that problem whatsoever.
None whatsoever. Yeah. And now we're getting into this point, and like I'm entirely convinced now that this game was very poorly optimized for the PS5. Like I don't know if it was just, and I don't want to say that it was just because they were being lazy or anything like that. I just think that, how do you, like, there hasn't really been, like, there's not a standard protocol on how to, like, have things work on this next gen, I guess. I am not entirely sure what the process is, but you don't have, out of all the games that are right now on the PS5, most of them behave only within itself. And what I mean by that is that Demon Souls only plays with PS5, right? You don't.
Yes. Because
obviously the PS3 version is out of date, and you wouldn't be able to play with anyone anyways. Aside from that, I don't know about Sackboy. I think Sackboy is on PS4.
It's on PS4, yeah.
But is it crossplay?
I have no idea.
I don't know. So
I don't know about cross-gen capability.
It could be, because like I would have to check, because I think Apex has a PS5 version now. So I can maybe try to download it and see if the crossplay on Apex is pretty bad.
I haven't heard anything. I haven't even heard of Xbox doing the same thing. So I don't know. I do know that crossplays all around PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, but I haven't heard anybody saying that they're playing on the next gen, crossing over just yet.
I don't know. It's just very weird that out of all the games available right now on the PS5, the one that is causing quite literally the most issues regarding the PS5 is Call of Duty. Because Call of Duty was the game that was causing issues with the download queue, the download queue bug, which would kind of like say that it's downloading, but it would never.
The one that affected
it
your
doesn't
brother.
show. Yeah, it did and it would just not download anything at all, and we had to like literally reset the entire PS5 from scratch to be able to download it completely. Then we had like all these crashes and stuff like that. That when I was like playing with Neko and my family, we kept having these issues. And now this particular game is now bricking PS5s. Like, what's going on? You know?
This could be
Go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead.
I was gonna say this could be a really brilliant transition into our main topic, because like the optimizing a game specifically for a console is very important, and the two games now that are causing crashes are both like crossplay, like because you have Call of Duty and then you have Miles Morales, which people were saying when you put that game in rest mode on the PS5, it crashes your PS5, or sometimes it literally your PS5 just breaks down.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know about Miles Morales.
Yeah, and so I was looking into Cyberpunk because I wanted it on PS5. I'm gonna talk about how I'm gonna obtain the game, but I'll save that for a little bit later. But it looks like it's only available for PS4, and then you put the PS4 disc in the PS5, and it upgrades it.
Yes, so that's how Borderlands is working right now. So if you were to put Borderlands on your PS5, it would give you the option to download the PS4 version, but then like it would take you have the option to go to the store and download the PS5 version.
That's good.
The only way that you'd be able to play the PS5 version is by having the PS4 disc on it.
Okay.
So it kind of like looks like you would still need to have the physical copy. If you just had a digital copy, I don't know how that works.
That makes sense.
But
it is quite sad though. Like, you imagine waiting so long to finally get your PS5. So just a PS5 game breaking your PS5 again, and you have to make another line, even if it's through customer service. It is still painful.
Well, I mean, like I think Sony should have some sort of warranty on it. Like,
I hope so.
Oh, you broke your PS5 because of this? All right, well, just bring it over. We'll try to get you a new one. We're having problems with inventory in itself.
Let me call back the scalpers so I can buy back.
I broke my PS5. I'm gonna have to give in to the scalpers now. But yeah, I wanted to get it physically, but I have such terrible OCD. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to muster having a PS4 copy of Cyberpunk for my PS5. So I was playing Apex with Aggie yesterday, actually. And before we started playing, we got on Steam because she lives in Argentina. Okay. And you probably don't know this, but games in Argentina are dirt cheap because third world country and whatnot. And we wanted to play Dark Souls 2 because we both had played 3. We really loved it.
I think I know where you're going with this. Go ahead. I may need to reach out. Jesus.
And I bought her because the Black Friday sale was like last week, and I bought her Dark Souls 2. But I'm an idiot, so I forgot to buy it for myself.
Okay.
And I looked, and it's like $40 again. And I was like, I do not want to pay $40 for a game that I just kind of like. So I was like, how much is it in Argentina? And she's like, oh, it's like $6. And I was like,
no
oh my God.
Way.
Just change your VPN to Argentina.
Exactly. So this is where the story gets crazy. So I was like, can you just buy it for me? And she's like, no, they're not idiots. You know, you can't pay for a game in a third world country and send it to America. Like
not even as a gift?
No, because that's like literally cheating. She pays $6 to send me a gift that's technically $40. It's like, so what she did is she made another account, and I signed into that account, and she bought the game on that account.
Okay.
So I basically paid her $6. Here's the kicker. I was like, how much is Cyberpunk? And she looked. That game is $20.
No way.
Yeah. And so I'm like, you just want to like buy it? And so yeah, she's gonna. And so I'm gonna be So now when it comes out on PS5, I'll just get the PS5.
But wait, that does bring me questions though, because let's say you are legitimately living in Argentina, you get everything done, and you start moving over. Your account now it has to switch to freaking US version. Are you able to still play the games that you bought from there? Because originally your account was from Argentina then.
Yeah.
How did you make that happen?
I don't know.
Because I'm just thinking, it's like, couldn't you just say that you moved to Argentina with your account, bought it there, and then moved back again, and now you're in US? Couldn't you just no?
I don't know.
Man, that
because I'm just gonna go and play with the VPN and see if I can.
You're just gonna have to ask Jake to ask Aggie to make you a new account so that she can put Cyberpunk into your
We're just gonna start a business. This is like our a reverse scalping business where you get games for cheaper. Yes.
Isn't it like G2A the whole thing?
I don't know.
No, but they steal keys. They steal keys or generate keys or something like that. So that wouldn't really work.
That's hilarious.
Wow. Okay. That's a very interesting method of getting Cyberpunk for fucking $20.
Yeah.
That's what over $40 cheaper.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, not for me.
For you, I got the 100 and something.
I got the collector's edition when it was first announced. That's at least over maybe $200.
It's 80% off.
Cheaper. At this point, I'm just damn, we're $20 for Cyberpunk.
When did the collector's edition go on sale?
Oh man, it was last year, around summer.
So E3 last year.
Yes.
Okay.
Wasn't there a version that gave you even the jacket and everything, or something of the sort?
Oh no. This collector's just comes with a nice statue and a whole bunch of other stuff. The regular edition on the PS4 at least is the one that I checked. It still comes with quite a bit of stuff. I think it comes with the world map and the I think it comes with a lot of other goodies. It's kind of similar to the Witcher 3, because the Witcher 3 the regular version came with a lot of cool stuff in it too, which would be considered a deluxe edition in other companies.
I'm glad that now the deluxe editions and whatnot are actually bringing things that are smaller to make it more realistically in terms of actually selling them out. I think it was Division 2 or Division 1 that's had a deluxe edition that came with a particular duffel bag and things, and then after the demand was so high, they weren't able to actually send out the real duffel bag, so they started making a cheaper version of it and sending them out, and then they had a huge backlash. I think it was Division. I don't remember what game, but I really believe it was Division because it was all about the whole logo and the straps and everything. So I'm glad that they're just making now smaller figurines or something easier to recreate.
Well, I mean,
it's easier to ship out.
But this is just CD Projekt Red, because you see the other other deluxe editions and they're still overly priced, and I think CD Projekt Red is trying to set the standard that, hey, it's really not that expensive to print out a small map of the game's world, a couple goodies, and just ship it with the standard version of the game.
Yeah.
Because the standard version of Cyberpunk comes with all these little things. The collector's edition is just for people that really want it.
Yeah.
Because I like the statue. If you look up the statue, it looks pretty good, and it's gonna come with a couple other things some patches and some stickers and stuff like that, which is it's all right. I mostly just paid it for the statue.
Yeah.
But at the very least, the standard edition is gonna come with what would be considered deluxe edition content.
That's really good. How much is the collector's?
It was $200, something like that.
Yeah, you showed me what was in there, and that it is really well priced.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the first class edition of FF7,
yeah,
that I think it had less content.
Yeah,
and it was
around the same price.
It was $300. It was the deluxe edition of FF7 with the cloud.
The one with the replica.
Yeah, and it was $300. That was an insane price for that thing.
Yeah, it was even the deluxe, the regular deluxe for Final Fantasy VII, which was $80, and it came with a small booklet, the CD, and
I thought it was an okay.
and the game, and that was
a
it.
steelbook also.
I mean, yeah, and it's still a book. Yeah, I mean, which is all right. Like I'm like. If I like the collector's editions of things, I'll definitely buy them if I have the money for it. It's just I like to collect.
See, my thing is, I love all of them, and I cannot buy any of them. Like
some of them are, but like some of them are just not that good.
I mean,
like,
you're right. Like the Destiny's the latest expansion brought like a little lunchbox that had the little triangle ship that has a pulsing light on it. I mean, it's cool, but I don't think it's worth the 180. I think it was the price range. It was kind of high up there.
No, but yeah, like I think that I'm really excited for the collectors of Cyberpunk. I think it's going to be really cool. I might just do an unboxing video and just send it to you, Jay.
Please. Well, I mean, if you want your space, I understand, but I kind of want to be there.
I want to be part of the experience.
But yeah, like I'm just fucking excited. I'm ready.
It's literally, is it Friday or is it Thursday?
It's in 3 days. It says 3 days and a couple of hours.
In 4 days. So if today's the 6th, so it become like midweek or something like that.
I should not have gotten. I'm kind of regretting getting
3 days, 4 hours, 29 minutes.
Oh my god, it's so close.
I'm really regretting getting it on Steam now because, like with Yakuza 7 or Like a Dragon, I always call it 7. I don't know why.
I mean,
It's the same thing.
it's the 7th entry technically.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know. It's like a reboot of this. I don't know.
It's like it's like a more accessible like reintroduction into the series is what I say.
But
or rather like a new season.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the first 1 through 6 is like the Kiryu saga.
Yeah, it's like a new saga basically. Yeah. But I bought it on Steam because I'm a noob when it comes to PC gaming.
Okay.
But I bought it on Steam because I was like, at the very least it'll drop at 2 a.m. because it's like 12 LA time, whatever LA time is.
Right.
Because they're like 2 hours behind, and it didn't drop until like 3 p.m. the following day, and so I'm scared that like I'm gonna have to wait until like halfway through the 10th to like finally download the game, which is gonna take like a year.
Yeah, you're definitely right. But you know what? I think I think that day will be an exciting day for a lot of us. Mm-hmm. But I just hope that it lives up to the hype.
I think so.
Because that's the scariest thing about it all, right?
I am so afraid that it will have the Watch Dogs fall through. Like the first Watch Dogs was really hyped.
Like being so overly hyped that when they delivered, it was just underwhelming.
Like it wasn't a bad game. It's just that for some reason I don't know. I feel like I think the gameplay, and everything else was expected to be like not even better. It's just I don't know. I don't know what people expected, but definitely didn't feel like it was there. Although that there was a lot of things to do in that game, and the game was pretty good. Although that it suffers from what I usually hate on games, and is that there's too much to do that you don't do anything at all.
Oh yeah, but that's me playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey right now. Like there's so much things to do. But let me just say, the game boost on the PS5 is amazing.
Yes, I was actually going to talk about this last week because I still am playing through Dark Souls 3 on PS5, and I literally just wanted to put it in just to see how it ran, like just to see. I'm like halfway through the game because it's running at like 60 frames.
It feels so good.
The best.
It's so good. But yeah, no, like I get what you mean, Nico. I think I'm excited for all the things that we're gonna get to do in Cyberpunk, but at the same time, I can definitely understand your point of view. There is so much, and from what I've read and seen, it kind of looks like they're going to lean a lot more into the role-playing aspect, which means that combat probably might, I wouldn't say suffer, but there's going to be less of it, unless you're like actively looking for it, which is what they've been saying in like IGN and GameSpot and stuff like that, which I'm kind of scared by, because like, what do they mean by that? You know, like how hard do you have to look for a fight to get one? You know,
and I mean the way that they're making it sound, it's like feel like combat in the game will affect the story somehow, like kind of like an Infamous type of thing. It sounds like, oh, if you want to be good, you gotta do good deeds, and
Yeah.
if you're gonna be bad, then you
Yeah.
just gotta destroy everything on
Well,
your path.
yeah, like they certainly like have been playing it out as like, I think that it's going to be really interesting with how mission approach is going to be. I think be having the complete freedom to be able to approach any and every mission in whatever method you would like would probably be really interesting. I don't know if we want to like jump into like just like right away about what we're expecting on it.
I don't like. This is what I told you. I mean, since day one, since we met, you know that I've like not really like taken a head dive into any Cyberpunk anything, because like I kind of want to keep my not expectations in check. I know that I'll love it, but
not overhype yourself.
It's like a whole new world that I don't know about, you know.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna be like hit with it, and that's like kind of crazy. So,
well, here's my thoughts on it. I think when it comes to the world and the lore, the standard edition should come with like a small like a compendium of like all the events. So you should be able, like, if you really want to get into it, I think you should be able to catch up. Otherwise, I think the story might like lead in with some of previous events, because I know for a fact that we're gonna be jumping into like Johnny Silverhand's like point of view in some points of the game.
Yeah,
I don't know how far they're gonna get into that, but that means that if we jump into Johnny Silverhand's point of view, we're basically jumping back to Cyberpunk 2020, because that's the time that Johnny was alive.
Okay, I did not know any.
In the story of Cyberpunk 2020, like before we jump into like the new RPG, which is Cyberpunk Red, at the end of Cyberpunk 2020, Johnny is quote unquote missing. Like I don't know much about the story of Cyberpunk 2020, but I know that at some point Johnny and a group of his friends or a group of people, they try to like raid the Arasaka building to try to get this program that Johnny's girlfriend was making that allows a person to implant themselves into like how turning themselves into AI, like in a sort of way.
Okay.
I don't know if that's entirely correct, but it was something like that. And so like towards the end of that, the Arasaka building explodes, like a nuclear detonation, and so that levels Night City completely, which then leads to Cyberpunk Red, which is the kind of like the post-apocalyptic version of Cyberpunk, which is like what the second RPG is based on.
Okay.
And during that time, Johnny is considered either dead or like gone,
missing. Yeah.
So it kind of seems that on 2077 we're gonna definitely like know what happened to Johnny, which kind of interesting.
So where does Red take place? Because you have 2020 and you have 77, and that is a lot of missing stuff to like fill yourself up on.
I think like Red is just like at the like where 2020 left off, which would be the nuclear detonation, because they're like, it was like the third corporate war or something like that. It was like this it's what happens after the detonation, where like Night City is completely leveled. Like we have like this whole like ground zero situation going on, where like this like the area around the explosion is like highly irradiated, and so like Cyberpunk Red takes place in the years like from that moment all the way to 2077, where like Night City starts to rebuild itself.
Okay.
And I think the idea of Red is that at some point the government doesn't really like help out in reconstructing Night City, so like Night City just kind of like takes matters into their own hands. And with obviously the help of the corporations, and with Cyberpunk being what it is, it kind of looks like the corporations are gonna get a lot stronger hold on the city itself because they're funding it. So now they have like I'm excited to see what that all means in 2077 because we'll see the aftermath of what happened in Red.
Yeah.
We won't really get to see what happens in Red because we would have to play the RPG, and anything goes in tabletop RPG. So we could make a story of our own, and that will probably be canon in a way.
That's what I was gonna reach with. It seems like this one, it may have just alternate stories to it, just because of the fact that you can choose between 3 different classes in it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Right. Well, like it's like lifestyles, right? So,
Yeah.
So what are you going with?
Ooh, okay, so I think I'm gonna go with Corpo. I think that's interesting. I like the idea. I like the idea that V starts out kind of like it being kind of like high class in a way.
High class hitman.
Well, not necessarily high class hitman, because like it's like more like how would you put it? Like you're like not necessarily poor, which is what it kind of like it like because like in Cyberpunk you have this like really clear hard cut between the poor and the wealthy, right? And so like if you're working for a corporation, you're kind of like good. It's kind of like in Final Fantasy VII, you know?
Yeah, with the
like
slums.
with the slums and the the upper plate. I think that's kind of like the situation. And I like the idea of like V being part of the upper plate, and then something happens that now he's having to live the mercenary life.
That is literally. When I was a few months ago, when I was looking back at like the classes you could choose, everyone wants to be the street punk bad boy, you know. But that's like that's almost so obvious.
Yeah,
And,
I feel like that's almost like the canon.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
this is like it reminds me of Batman Begins when like Bruce Wayne is like he's like super wealthy.
Yeah.
And Falcone basically tells him that he's never had to struggle, like he doesn't know what it means.
Right.
And so he gives everything up and he just moves to like a third world country and just starves himself. And
and I think that would be interesting. Like I like the idea of Nomad too. Like Nomad has that like Max type of vibe as well. Yeah. But I don't know. I think if anything, my first playthrough would definitely be Corpo. I think I'm very interested to see what's gonna happen to V. How does he get to being part of like a salary man basically to being a mercenary fighting against the corporation that he was once working for, you know?
I'm literally like what I'm most excited about is character customization. I'm literally probably gonna spend like an hour at least, maybe 2, just fine-tuning every little thing.
2 weeks later, I get to play the game.
No, 2 weeks later, oh, my genitals are just the right size.
Oh God! I forgot that you can actually like fine-tune your genitals. Like
that would be.
That is so weird. Like I was there, like. Is that gonna be relevant to the gameplay? Like,
I
just
I don't want this to sound weird, but I hope so, because if it's not, then it just seems like some weird edgy thing that they added in just to seem cool.
Please,
you know?
to a certain degree.
I kind of want it to actually.
Yeah.
Like not. It doesn't even have to be something like really like involved. Just like, somebody just walking over and then some like going like by the red light district and somebody's just hey, nice package, you know, like something like that, and it's like exactly. Oh, you know, thanks.
It's hilarious. You know?
I'm glad
I worked on it for quite a while. Thank you.
I spent 300 hours making sure that I got this right.
The specs on the right spots.
Every individual hair strand perfectly aligned.
Yes. Super excited.
No, but I'm more excited as to what you can do with with the skills and abilities.
I do wonder, like, if per route that you take, right, is the customization going to be different? Because, like you said, the corpo are higher class. Does that mean that their weapons are going to be slightly different?
That'd be cool.
Like your customization determines on like what
or rather like you're starting. Because like I'm pretty sure at some point as you build your reputation as a mercenary, you should be able to get like black market deals and stuff like that. But like maybe like that'd be cool because like that would mean like if I start Nomad, I'm probably not gonna have a lot of access to a lot of
So they're all
implants or stuff. So you have to be a little bit more creative in your play style, or maybe as a street punk kid, like you get early access to like black market deals, right? Or that'd be kind of cool.
Or the aesthetic of it, right? Because the corporal can look all sleek and whatnot. The sword's coming out pretty nice and sleek. Whereas if you go nomad, it's all like clunky, or everything just put together to make it look, like you just have to scavenge for it or like make it your own yourself.
That'd be very interesting. Like I don't want to like hype myself up thinking that's what's gonna happen. But if it does happen, that's gonna be
pretty
cool.
Yeah, I really do hope, because it adds more taste to what route you take. So like it gives it a little bit more importance, because it's not just a single storyline. It has more different aspects that you can add to it and whatnot.
I just hope that I'd be able to like because I was already planning that my play style, like I wanted to, if I'm gonna run corporal, right, I wanted to do like this like Ghost in the Shell, like Major Kusanagi, like going invisible, hacking people, like
yes,
very sleek, very like handling like light weapons, fast, agile, like that's kind of like what my ideal corpo build would be, like something where like I'd probably be doing a lot of net running, a lot of like I don't know if there's invisibility in the game. It'd be kind of cool because I can just kind of like literally just go invisible, hack into somebody, and then just kind of like keep going. Maybe shoot this guy over there, hack this thing. That'd be cool.
Hack somebody to shoot at somebody, and then they blame the other person.
Hell yeah! Like I'd be really looking forward to it. I'm very excited to see like if it's even possible to go that route. If not, I'll make it somewhat like a couple of adjustments. But it kind of seems like the skill trees are very expansive. I think I got a chance to see what the skill trees look like, so
I wish I did.
I'm looking forward to it. I don't know like what y'all's play styles would even look like.
I would. Here's my play style. It'd be I'm gonna be like Ghost in the Shell, like I don't know, like Hacker Master, Stealth God, Solid Snake, and then like after the second mission, after I get busted, I'd be like, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna be a brute or something like that.
So anyways, I start laughing. I definitely agree. I had the same problem where like I start stealthy and then it just either becomes boring or I just keep on alerting everybody. So I definitely understand your
It'd be kind of cool if we could just kind of like replicate like not necessarily play styles, but like just characters from like other Cyberpunk movies. Like try to go for like a Blade Runner build, like and try to see how would that look like, right? Like, and then
almost be like an all around, I guess.
Mostly, right? But I don't think that like in the original, at least in the original, or I guess the new one, they didn't use any type of like intricate hacks or anything
That's
like that.
true,
So
yeah.
like it would be like a more human build in a way, like. Maybe something that will like help you like wield weapons better, and maybe focus on your speech more rather than hacks or anything like that. So like, that'd be cool though. That's a very interesting build if anything.
I haven't looked too much at character customization, but what is it looking like in terms of like how human you can be versus how like cybernetic you can be?
I don't know. I know that in the RPG there's this term that, or rather this mechanic, where it's like it was like cybernetic psychosis or something like that, where like if you have too much or too many like cybernetic implants, or like just you replace your parts with like just robot parts, I guess, like you would have to roll. You would have to make a roll determined to see if your character like goes crazy, like if like from like having so many like thing like your brain just starts
an
to
existential crisis type of thing.
I wouldn't say
am I
like
still human or
I wouldn't be like it wouldn't be more like existential, but like it's kind of like if I had to like make a like kind of like reference it to something like maybe be like, I don't know, losing too many of your limbs, and then you just kind of like your body's like not entirely sure what the fuck to do.
It's like a phantom pain almost, like.
Oh, maybe kind of like your brain's like having to process too many medicines, like
I
two
was
different
thinking
types of
It
meds.
could be like that, to where like the cybernetic enhancements are like poisoning your nervous system or
Something like that. Like I would have to like look into that because I know that that's like an actual mechanic in the RPG. So I wonder if that actually plays. Like maybe you're not. Maybe like if you have too many like cybernetic implants in your body, you're more prone to maybe have like I don't know, hallucinations or something.
Mhm.
I don't know.
It would be a great way to like limit all the upgrades that you can put on the game. Definitely.
Yeah, without something stupid like item management, like in Demon Souls, how you can only carry so much before you're just walking instead of running. Like, yeah, that would be a really good idea.
I think like now that I think about it, like if I had to make a guess, did you play not the original, like Deus Ex Human Revolution?
I own it, but I haven't played it.
Okay, so like at some point in that game, I guess like your cybernetic, like one of your cybernetic implants like starts to malfunction.
Mhm.
So you start seeing a lot of visual glitches, and you have the option of just kind of like, fuck it, I'm just keep going and keep doing the missions, or you could just get it and like get a new like a new implant, like a new version of the implant or something like that. And I don't know if you want me to spoil you what happens.
Oh, that's fine.
But at some point that comes into play in the game, and so like there's this boss battle that actually uses that implant because I think they manufactured a virus into that implant and then produced it for everyone, and they can turn that virus on and it messes up your entire your entire HUD, like your HUD, like your health is all messed up, your ammo's all messed up. You can't even see the enemy. Like it'll mess up your whole visual and in the game. So you literally have to fight this boss with as little information as possible because you have no other way of trying to fight it. If you would have chosen not to like get the implant, then you would have fight the battle as normal.
Gotcha.
But like that's interesting, and I hope that maybe they do something like that because that'd be fucking amazing, mind you. Like having a fight with like all these visual glitches, you can't even like you don't even know how much health you have left, and like now your ammo count like at one moment you only had 20 clips, and suddenly like you're
down to one.
You're down to 1, and then it jumps to 99 or something like that, and you're just like, what the fuck, like, oh man, I'm getting messed up. Maybe I need to go back to the doctor and get myself some new implants or something like that,
Yeah, you just like at the start of the game, you're just like a human trying to make it in the world. By the end of the game, you're like addicted to like these enhancements. And you're like, oh doc, can you like get me a new like processor?
Maybe that's like an alternate ending. Like you're so obsessed with getting the newest thing, you start to lose like they start having like these like Fallout perks where like you need to like you're addicted to like how in Fallout you're kind of like addicted to like this like this particular drug they use like buff out or something like that, and you're addicted to cybernetic implants. Go back to your doctor, get a new one.
So Jake, I haven't heard yet because I don't think you had the chance, but what path would you go? Street Kid, Nomad, Corpo? It didn't seem like you actually mentioned which one you would go for.
I don't know. Like I said, like I think Street Kid is like we were talking about. It's like the obvious pick
choice
because take something like Mass Effect, which you can like choose your background, and there are very obvious, more interesting backgrounds. But like if you look at it from like a narrative standpoint, there are like you hear corporate, and when you hear corporate, you think like Walmart. Like that's so boring. Nobody wants to work at Walmart, But to be put on a pedestal at the start and to develop your character from there, maybe like you said, maybe something happens and they become a mercenary. Because if you're a street kid and you become a mercenary, it's like a steady progression as a character.
Yeah.
But you kind of want your character to struggle. You want to see them like go through an actual story.
Yeah.
So I think Corpo is like what I'm leaning towards, but I do like Nomad also.
Kind of like go for that Mad Max type of vibe. I'm curious. I think ultimately I'll try to like. It's gonna take a lot out of me because I usually whenever I beat a game once,
it just becomes twice as difficult for me to like play it again for some reason. Like it's just like there's nothing new for me. But I think think with these 3 different like backgrounds, and hopefully they're very different from each other in the way that you kind of like build yourself up to the point where you becoming a mercenary. You actually the world starts opening up for you. I hope that that's different enough for me to feel like I'm still playing a new game. Because like what is it like other games, like for example the one that I have in mind is like the last Fire Emblem, Three Houses.
Yes, that's exactly what I was gonna bring up.
Like even though that you have 3 different casts of characters that you can play from, but it still feels relatively the same. The first beginning of the first beginning of the game is still the same. You're still doing the same things over and over, and it wasn't like completely different. The story kind of like plays out the same either way. I would have loved that instead of it being the second half of the game that's completely different, have it be the whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole game through.
It's almost not completely different in the second half, though, because what I thought, because I didn't finish it twice, but I did start a second playthrough, and I'm going to spoil Three Houses right now because it's been out for like a year and a half, but I went with the Black Eagles first, and which is like, again, it's like the one that they want you to choose.
Right.
And Edelgard turns evil.
Right.
And you have to kill her. And so I picked like the Blue Lions next.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, so this guy's going to turn evil. We're going to see how that works. But no, Edelgard just turns evil again.
Yeah.
And you're a part of this other house now that you have to you have to take her on. So it's like almost the same thing again. And it almost doesn't matter what house you choose, but I guess it determines your attachment to certain characters.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like for me, I started with, I forget the name of the last one. Like we have the Black Eagles, and then the Blue Lions, and then the Golden Deer.
I think so.
That sounds about right. So I went with the Golden Deer first.
Okay.
I thought that the characters were very interesting. And I liked the outcome of the Golden Deer route. Ultimately, the only, and I'm gonna spoil it for everyone else that's like watching right now or listening right now. By the end of the Golden Deer route, both the house leaders of the other games die as well. Edelgard dies, and then Dimitri dies. I don't know if choosing Dimitri, or rather the Blue Lions in your second playthrough would mean that Claude dies, because I know that at the end of the playthrough, Edelgard has to die.
Yes, no matter
I don't
who
think
you choose.
Unless you go with you siding yourself with Edelgard, I don't think that would be the only other option that you would have to where the outcome is just slightly different. So with that being said, I know there's a lot of games that offer like a lot of different endings, and like the endings is like, okay, the endings is a step forward, right? You have something else to look forward to at the end of the game. But I don't think it would be that hard. And I guess we'll see with Cyberpunk, right? We'll definitely see if it's even possible to have a completely different play experience if you were to choose a different path. If you're going to go corpo, how is it going to affect the story
in the game,
like from beginning to end, and how is it going to differ from you going nomad? Like how, like I'm like ultimately I think like I don't think it would require you to make 3 separate like 3 different games, because I think CD Projekt Red has learned from The Witcher, at least The Witcher 3, and you can still have a very well thought out story, and it can still feel relatively fresh and new, and it really just depends on what the player decides to do. There's so many things that you can do in The Witcher 3 that no 2 playthroughs are going to be exactly alike.
See, and I was gonna throw out this game like a throwback to the PlayStation 3, right? But then I realized that to a certain extent it's still kind of linear. But I was gonna throw out the Heavy Rain.
Yes.
I don't know if you play, where in its entirety is still somewhat linear, but your choices throughout the story changes the story. But at the end of the day, like you said, it's all about the ending. The throughout does change, but it's not drastic, and it's not like you're choosing multiple paths. It's still, again, you're just thrown into this character's shoes. But you were supposed to be in his shoes regardless at that point of the story.
Well, yeah,
So,
like I think
I was gonna throw it. It still does implement, again, multiple choices, multiple aspects, and multiple situations and scenarios actually taking place. So I'm hoping that Cyberpunk does have that kind of aspect of whatever you do now has its own consequence.
Yeah, so because I would definitely want to see like if it's how it's looking to be, it's looking like they're giving a lot of freedom to the player and how they tackle the story, and I don't mean this in a very simple sense. I'm talking about complete freedom from what your background is to what your method of progression is, all the way to the ending. I don't even know what the ending is going to look like, but you have something to say, Neko?
Is that we're all speculating of what 77 is or what might be or what not be, and then I remember this one tweet coming through from the same people or whatever saying, "Oh, we're sorry, 2077 was actually a hoax. We just wanted to spend time with Keanu Reeves." So I just imagine the playthrough, whatever, is just you sitting beside Keanu Reeves, just telling you the whole story.
Just watch it. The ending. The ending is just kind of like. You have this very heavy moment, and then you just kind of somebody goes cut, we're done with here. We just wanted to talk with Keanu, and just Keanu.
Everybody out.
It's all right, everybody out. It's over.
I feel like I'm gonna know if I want to play it again on my first playthrough, because if there are choices that I can make in game that I'm like, oh my god, I want to choose both, but I have to choose one, and I have to. And I want to go back and choose a second thing, then I'm going to want to play it again.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm scared that I'm going to play Corpo and then go back to Nomad for a second playthrough, and it's for the first 30 minutes I'm like, oh my god, it's a new game. And then you hit the first mission, and it's wait, I'm just playing the same mission through Nomad,
Yeah, I think I hope, because I know that at some point all three paths are going to intersect,
which is fine,
I think at that point it's just how it's going to be, right? But if they're going to intersect, I want a level of uniqueness.
Yeah, I don't
maybe characters interact with you completely different, and I'm not talking kind of you said Mass Effect earlier, you have your Paragon and your Renegade options, right? I want those to actually carry over, as in if you choose to be an asshole about an asshole shepherd from the beginning to the end, have that really reflect,
Yes.
Not necessarily not have it be where you have your asshole and your goody two shoes actions, but regardless of which one you pick, that they're that the outcome's going to be more or less the same. You killed my friend. Oh, well, we needed to because he was sick. Oh, okay, that's fine. Or if you want to go the asshole, fuck you. Oh, okay then. I don't want it to be like that. If I'm gonna go corpo, man, I want it to really really be something.
Yes.
I have it be weren't you a corpo or something? What the fuck are you doing here? Why are you trying to be a mercenary, bro? Or if you're gonna go nomad, it's you're not from around here, are you? Shit like that.
Yes.
That oh my god, that would be so amazing.
That's where I'll be fine if the game intersects.
Yeah.
That's where I'll be fine with it. My big fear is that you start the game and the first 30 minutes is unique, the ending is unique, and 90% of the game is exactly the same.
Yeah.
But if there's a uniqueness depending on what character you choose, then to make the world feel lived in again.
Well, I mean, I feel if I were to if I had all the resources in the world and I'd be able to design Cyberpunk 2077 my way, ideally, I would think that maybe preventing certain missions from popping up at certain times. Say you did mission A as a nomad, and it was accessible to you to the beginning, but it was accessible to the beginning because you were in the right place at the right time. As opposed as if you were a corpo and you were to go to the exact same place, you know exactly like where to go to start that quest, but that quest doesn't start. It's like, why not? Well, maybe because you weren't, the circumstances are completely different. And so maybe you'll get to do that quest later on, and maybe it's a little bit different, but you have to work your way to get there.
And then like my take on it is, or like my question to you, Jake, is what exactly are you thinking of whenever you say the same missions? Because the way that I see it, or the way that they could take it is, yeah, you play the same missions, but you're playing it in a different perspective, trying to do something different. Let's say you're trying to, as a corpo, just take the luggage that has the thing or whatever to another side of the, the other company and trying to make a trade. But as a nomad or as a street kid, you actually are supposed to be the one intercepting it and try to track it down or destroy the people in it or whatnot.
So that would be fucking cool.
Because at that point, you're at least, it's the same mission, yes, but it's a different objective within the same mission, and you are fighting within each other.
Right, like as if every mission has like its own little unique corpo beginning, nomad beginning, or street kid beginning. Right, each quest starts differently. The quest is entirely the same, but the way that it starts is completely different, and the way that it ends is completely different. Or maybe not even, like maybe the quest can just end the same. But I mean, like, with the amount of freedom that it kind of seems like everyone's like praising it about, I would be, a little bit disillusioned to think that it would just be a straightforward quest. Because they really, like, whenever they were talking about quest design and stuff like that, like in the interviews and stuff, like they literally took their time to say, yeah, we really got our heads and really started working on quest design because we really want to capture the whole role-playing aspect of Cyberpunk. And it's not easy. Because you would have, like, how do you go about, now that I think about it, I wouldn't be entirely upset if they took a similar path to how they did for Divinity. Have you ever played that game? So it's like this it's kind of like a Baldur's Gate type of game where, like, it's kind of like isometric, and it's very like Western RPG. Like, if you ever play Baldur's Gate at all, it's
such a good game. I love Baldur's Gate. Keep going.
Yeah, but the way that they handle quest design is very, very close to how a D&D session would go. You have a lot of options and a lot of consequences. So if we ever get a chance, I'm gonna show you Divinity Original Sin 2, which is the game that I played, and it's the game that it's the best one of that kind.
A friend of mine had it. I always saw it against a computer, and
the reason I really like it is because, again, it has what I'm talking about. Like, every quest feels different because of the way that you approach it. So I was playing as a skeleton mage. And at some point you get to go to this tavern, and somebody offers you like special services, hint, and so I went through this quest line thinking that, whatever, it's probably I'm gonna get ambushed, and at the end I got ambushed, but the way that I got there was very interesting. Because I went up and I met with the prostitute, and it turns out that the prostitute has a really interesting fetish with skeleton people. And so that line of dialogue made it completely unique. Because if you were to play as any other race that is not a skeleton, because you could play each race, the human, the elves, the dwarves, and the lizard folk. Okay. And you can have the skeleton version of them, the undead version. You can just go like being a live character, right? A live human, and the quest ends the same, but it's completely different because you don't have that special, like, I guess that special extra bit of dialogue where, like, you just kind of like, yeah, you ended up having sex with the prostitute. Oh no, you're ambushed by a group of dwarves,
Yeah.
As opposed to oh, you're a skeleton, right? And then you have sex with a prostitute. It was apparently the best sex that person has ever, like, she moaned, like they really went so far as to really just emphasize
Describe.
how much she loved having sex with a skeleton. Like,
oh my god.
See, that's what we were talking about, like how the NPCs are gonna interact with you.
With your
depending on who
genitalia.
you are.
like
You walk up to a prostitute.
that's what it's all about.
You walk up to a prostitute and you're like, you might be like a street kid. She's like, nah, get out of here. But you might be a nomad. She's like, oh, come over here and give me that robot dick. You know what I mean?
How many functions does it have?
Like, like, that'd be cool. Like, because like, apparently you can sleep with you're gonna have a lot of romance options, and you can still just like sleep around. You have that option to sleep around with somebody. But like, man, that'd be so cool, right? You're like a nomad, and they're like, I don't want to be with no country hick like you, or something like that. It was like, what the fuck? And then you're like, when you go and play as Corpo, it's like, oh yeah, you look like a man that has a lot of money. Like, hey, let's get it. And it's like, what? That'd be so cool. And at this point, like, I guess I am doing what I said that I didn't want to do, just hyping myself up.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's okay.
I mean, the game is about
You really cannot help it. It's
the
a
game comes
that's-
out in how many days was it, Nicholas?
It's like
3 days.
3 more days,
Yeah.
roughly.
It's like, I guess if you're, are you getting it physically on PS4?
Heck yes.
Okay, so you might be waiting until
3
actually
days,
Thursday.
3 hours, and 45
I'm
minutes.
not necessarily,
How do you?
because I'm getting it through Best Buy. And
You're getting it shipped.
yes, and Best Buy has done me a solid a couple times. When when Death Stranding was about to release, I got a day early.
Oh, that'd be so nice. If you did, I could come over.
We could, just unbox it all together.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure the service will still be down for that, but you at least will be able to.
I mean,
install
I
it
would
and
at least be able to install the game
A good
with the
portion.
disc and
Yeah.
then play the pre-release patch,
Mhm.
or the non day zero patch version, I guess. So I don't know. I there's a lot to look forward to in Cyberpunk, and I hope that it delivers, because it's been hyped up for like the longest time.
See, I just need to get myself a goddamn PS5. I need to my reach to the scalpers, man.
But here's the thing. You get the PS4 copy now. You'll still be able to play it. And when you get the PS5 later on, you can then do the free upgrade. Because they're not going to release
the problem is then the cross save. Like it's a lengthy game.
That's the only thing that I'm kind of concerned about. Because I know that the cross save hasn't been exactly the best. Because I know that
is there even
you
a
have
promise
to
for
like
it, though?
you have to like I think what it was, like, you had to like download the PS4 version first, then upload it, and then
The cloud, and then
upload it, and then get the PS5 version, and then extract it from the cloud or something like that.
I need to look into it because I definitely want to play it. It's not being on my hype train in terms of like the main game that I wanted to play, just because I had this kind of hype back in Overwatch, Watch Dogs,
Okay.
right? So whenever Watch Dogs first came out, again, I had this hype. I thought it was gonna be all these things, and for me, it did not live to it. So for this game, I've actually 77. I just kind of like slow down the hype, not even think about it too much.
Yeah, I think at least every one of us has been burned by hype at least once.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm thinking.
Because like I can tell you that.
Jakey's like, no, me. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm thinking, man. There's got to be one.
Like I have to think about it too, because I don't like. Well,
Movies
okay,
definitely, but
not a
games.
game in its entirety. I'm pretty sure if I really had like sat down and really thought about it, I'm pretty sure I can find a game that burned me. But I have a game experience that burned me.
Okay.
Which is I've told you about this. This is a final boss to Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
I thought it was very underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Like you had like all this build up, and making it sound like this beast was like hard, and he was gonna like everyone's scared of Ganon and everything, and you do all of it. You basically do the true ending. You meet all the true ending requirements,
you work your way towards the castle, all these guardians and everything. It's like the hype is building up. When you go and start fighting against Calamity Ganon, he gets his health cut in half. And while it certainly made the fight easier, but I kind of wish that it wouldn't have done that.
You wanted the gratification of actually taking it down yourself.
Yes, because I felt like I got, like, I wouldn't say that I got cheated out, but I kind of wish that they would have had this like fake, like not like just like give me give me that fake sensation that the enemy was weakened, right? Like if it would have been just a cutscene, maybe he looked a lot tougher, and then suddenly the laser hit him and hurt him. But his health was still full,
the same, yeah.
But like it was still kind of weakened, right? Because like in cutscene wise, he like that's what happened, right? But like the fact that his health got cut in half, and it just felt like
an unnecessary handicap.
Well, not, I
would say like that
because I was like I took my time. I was overly prepared for that fight.
Yeah,
like I spent time fighting Lionels to get their best bows, like the triple shot bows. I got like I made sure that I had the Hylian shield. I made sure that I had the Master Sword because I was before the DLC came out. I made sure to get the best swords, all the best equipment.
Yeah,
and like I spent time upgrading my equipment because I didn't know how hard Ganon was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like a really hard fight. Because like it kind of seems like the last Calamity that you were supposed to fight was the Garuda one. Because that's kind of like that was the biggest spike in difficulty.
Oh yeah, by far.
So whenever you like went to fight against Calamity Ganon, it just kind of felt a little bit underwhelming. And then you had that big climactic section, section in the game where you're trying to ride around, try to shoot it with the bow of light, and that was it. So, I think that if anything, that like I would say that was like my biggest burnout for when it comes to like games. I don't know, like there has to be a game that I can't really remember right now that has burned me real hard.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I don't know yet.
I don't get hyped for bad games. Cyberpunk, literally, just because I know nothing about it, could be the first one.
Let's hope it's not.
But I because there's those videos going around online of the hand-to-hand combat, and it does look very clunky. And they're like, "Oh, this is the game you're so hyped for." It's like it's not a brawler.
I have not seen the fight scenes yet, so.
Well,
hopefully they polished it by now.
Well, that was before they actually like I think that was their first build that they showed publicly.
I don't know.
It was one of them. I know what you're saying. I know that the exact clip that you're talking about, but I think they already stated that was still an early build. Like the reason they delayed so much was to work on that.
Yeah.
Or at least the first reason. They really wanted to make it shine. And like they really wanted to really just work hard on the combat.
They were actually lying to you. They delayed it because they wanted to implement genital.
Oh, true as well. You're right. But
it is quite important.
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna say this: if Cyberpunk doesn't live up to the hype, or rather to, I guess, the reasonable amount of hype to everything that they've been saying is what I'm like what I want to get at, not necessarily like our own speculations of how the game is going to be.
Like you will turn into a farmer at that point.
Right.
He will actually become a nomad.
I will, yeah. I will probably go on a lifelong journey and go to the top of a mountain and just
Mount Fuji.
Yeah, just haiku it out. Go Tsushima style. No, but if anything, that I feel like it's gonna be really hard for CD Projekt Red to come back from that.
Yeah,
'Cause-
I can just picture Mike at the top of the mountain, just sitting like this, just like 3-line haikus, like Cyberpunk hurt me. I will not let it consume my life. Life is great.
Yes, fuck Cyberpunk.
No, but I hope that all goes well. I hope that this game succeeds because, oh man, it's just gonna suck. It's just gonna suck if the game doesn't live up. And then CD Projekt Red's just reputation just gets shot because they already established a high. They set a really high bar. The Witcher 3 was amazing. I want to say that The Witcher 3 has been up until this point is their magnum opus. I'm hoping that that Cyberpunk
definitely
turns out to be their actual magnum opus. Like this is the best possible product they could possibly deliver. But so far, Witcher 3 is like that. That's it. Like it's amazing. Like it won so many awards. It's highly praised. A lot of people never beat it, but I feel like that's besides the point. I think it really just is just how high quality of a product The Witcher 3 was.
Yeah.
So if Cyberpunk doesn't meet that expectation, it's gonna be extremely hard for CD Projekt Red to come back from that.
My biggest thing is I really wish for replayability, because if I start a game, just like y'all were mentioning, like I'll probably just play as the one that they want you to play, the Street Kid life path, but mainly because if that's what the basic line is, then that's the least probable line that I'll go to last, because it's not as interesting. So replayability is definitely something that I would like, just so I can go through all the different classes.
So let me throw a proposition for you guys right now.
Okay.
How about
We all three.
Since we're three and there's 3 paths.
Oof, I don't.
If Neko's willing to go the Street Kid route, if I go Corpo and you go Nomad, we can then come back
And see how
a week or 2 from now and talk about each of our own individual experiences with the game, and see if what we're talking about now
they come to fruition.
comes.
I want to throw an even bigger proposition to you. Let's draw. I think we should draw for it.
All right.
Draw. I mean, I'm down for it.
Definitely.
I would still I would most definitely still
make
want to do the corporal run. But if for the sake of our conversation here
And
right now,
integrity,
I am most definitely down to have us pick which one and then come back a couple weeks from now and see what our experiences are with the game.
I think we should do it right now on the podcast. Like, do you have like a piece of paper you can split into 3? And we have to commit to this. Like, we can't be like, oh, can you trade me? Like, no, we have to do it.
Okay. So how about this?
We're just gonna pick exactly what we chose.
We can definitely see. We can get a 4th person in this and have that person draw this for us.
No, I got an idea.
Do you have an app for it?
I got a random number generator.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna say 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
And the first class is gonna be set class, and then whatever number rolls,
Okay.
and that's the person who runs it, and then I just drop it down to 2 people, and so on and so forth.
Okay. So.
Sure.
So the way that I'm thinking is probably 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1 Jake, 2 Neko, 3 Mikey.
Okay.
And we'll start with the street, then go to the nomad, and then to the
Okay.
whatever.
All right.
other
So
class.
what number street? It's gonna be.
No, I think what he's gonna say is that he's gonna call out which path is it going to
The
be.
first one, yeah.
Roll the number, and whichever number gets it is the
Okay.
person that's gonna play it.
I'm scared.
Yeah, same here.
So it would only be just 2, like I guess 2 declarations.
Yeah, because then the last one.
by
just
the
takes-
last one it's kind of like it. We know.
Alrighty, so like I said, Jake is 1, Neko is 2, Mikey is 3.
Okay.
We start with the street kid.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Yep.
I'm scared.
Generating it. 2.
Okay.
I took it.
Okay. Wow.
That's so good.
Alright.
Alright, so I guess 1, 2 now. So let me just. That is hilarious. Alright, so Nomad. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Dude, so I guess you screwed up. You screwed you.
Oh, so it'd be me?
Yeah, it'll be my
Did
thing.
it? Did you press it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, wow.
Okay, well, we didn't really declare it though.
Yeah,
But okay, like, so I'll do that.
It'll be no
So-
man, unfortunately.
So you'll
I'll-
be playing it twice at the same time.
I mean,
It'll be like 2 PS5s playing.
all right.
Switch to one.
Yeah, because
Oh,
we
okay.
pressed it the third time to make sure that it was actually working.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it'll be like that. So Jake, you get to play Corpo.
Oh, God.
Neko plays the Street Kid, and I'll play the Nomad.
I mean, yeah. I was about to say, like, unless y'all two want to switch by any chance, because I think Corpo was the least.
No, I think I sold Jake on the
on the Corpo.
on the Corpo path.
Alrighty.
For sure.
I will switch if you want. I will.
I mean, it's your choice. I wanted to go Corpo because it's the one that I was like more inclined to. But if
I think it's a nomad move to switch.
God damn it.
well,
Okay, so this is
I mean, ultimately, y'all can just open 2 playthroughs, and the moment that y'all decide not to be the other one, we can flip.
welcome back to episode 4. We've played
We-
Cyberpunk 10 times.
this is where this is where Cyberpunk starts, right?
It's the start line.
This is where it really begins because now me and Jake have to contemplate on which path to take before we even get to the character
Yeah.
the character customization part.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
Nomad, Street Kid, Corpo.
So you're gonna go
Yes, we
Nomad, Jake.
We'll just go with what we picked.
Alrighty.
Okay, sounds good. So
So only one here is actually truth to their word. Blasphemous.
whatever. we came to a conclusion either way. So what we're gonna
We just
do?
wasted 10 minutes.
True, but that's either here nor there. I mean, if need be, we can just edit this out.
Well, we're fine.
I'm pretty sure
Okay.
that they'll understand.
Yeah. So, and we'll give ourselves 1 or 2 weeks. We'll give ourselves a week to kind of like go through the early game content and talk about that, and then we'll give ourselves another week to kind of like maybe kind of like depending on. I know that our schedules are not exactly the best, but
Yeah.
we'll try to get to at least the middle of the game and see how.
Or a particular like time frame or whatever in the story.
Because if
But we
like
can
I
match.
like if it's anything like how we're kind of hoping that it is, we might not get a clear distinction on like
What the middle is.
what the middle point is.
Mm-hmm.
So because like we might like I know that at some point V gets the chip that brings Johnny Silverhand into the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how each path is gonna lead to that, which means that it'll like say like Neko might be the first one to get Johnny Silverhand depending on his story.
Yeah.
It might be Jake or it might be me. Like it might be completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll try to get like at least a good portion in to maybe to where we like unlocked a little bit of the city where we can actually explore, maybe do some quests.
Yeah.
And maybe come back and give our ideas.
First impressions on
well, next week is going to be crazy because we not only have our first impressions, but the Game Award results are also going to be next week, and whatever was revealed at the Game Awards. So
yeah, so if anything, that it will be like a short first impressions, and then the next one over.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
definitely
definitely.
talk about how the game had opened up to us,
Mhm.
and then the week after this week we can talk more in length about our playthroughs.
Okay. All right, so I guess that'll wrap this one up.
Hell yeah!
All right. The next time we are at this table, we will have played Cyberpunk. That's pretty
And
crazy.
we'll see what the Game Awards ended up being,
Oh,
or
dude.
and what are they going to show us for next year.
Yeah. Any expectations?
Oh man, like if we're gonna go into that, I would say I'm open to anything. I hope
Mhm.
that we get to see Breath of the Wild too.
Mhm.
That's it. Because at this
I
point,
hope, yeah.
I'm not gonna try to think of anything that I'm really looking forward to. Because most of the stuff that I'm already like that was already like mentioned, say Final Fantasy, Resident Evil, and whatever else that was already released in the PS5 like reveal, is already something I'm already looking forward. So like
Yes.
next year is probably going to be interesting. I would love to see Breath of the Wild 2.
Do you think we're gonna see, because we're talking Jeff Keighley, we're talking the Game Awards, we're talking December 10th, which is Cyberpunk's release. Do you think we're gonna see Cyberpunk anything like online update?
I don't
maybe?
think multiplayer. Maybe like if anything, but if
I wouldn't expect
if
it
CD
until, like,
Projekt
second quarter.
if CD Projekt Red decides to go bold and just be like, hey, it's been like what 3 days since the game came out.
No, the day. Yeah.
Look forward to. Oh yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Or rather, by the time that we'll talk about it. Yeah. So Cyberpunk, Cyberpunk just dropped out. Here's what to look forward to.
Raid boss.
Maybe kind of like a timeline moving forward. If anything,
Yeah,
that.
cool.
No, but if the rumors are to be believed or anything like that, I would love to see Kojima announcing.
Oh my god, please just give it to
That'll
me.
be great.
Kojima announcing maybe the remake for Metal Gear or maybe Silent Hills. Maybe I've heard a lot of buzz.
You have a choice: the PT Silent Hill that he was working on, or a full 3D Phantom Pain style Metal Gear Solid 1 remake. What do you choose?
If I had to choose between the two, Silent Hill for sure. I haven't seen Silent Hill in a long ass time.
My only concern with it is that we also got Resident Evil 8 on the horizon. We got Resident Evil 7 came out quote unquote recently. So it I feel like the crowd will much rather like the other one. These Metal Gear Solid.
It'd be a great time because like they can like if anything, it'll definitely hype people up.
Mhm.
It's like when was the last Silent Hill that we got?
Ugh, it's been
Downpour
collection.
on P and I think it was on PS3 and it wasn't even like that well received.
Last really good one was like 2 on PS2. So
Yeah.
but
yeah, if anything,
it'd be crazy for Kojima to be at the Game Awards after in 2015 he got basically screwed, and it was at the Game Awards that Konami was basically like "F you, Kojima."
True.
So that'd be crazy if in 20, 5 years later they
Maybe
actually
this has been a really crazy year. So we still got a couple more weeks before the year's over. Maybe we'll get some big announcement. We'll get some upsets.
Me personally, I'm not expecting too much. So whatever they throw at me, I'm most likely gonna be surprised.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because right now I haven't heard much. I have no idea, and like I didn't even thought the possibility of having any kind of announcement on the Game Awards.
They've tried to do at least a couple a year. Like every year they've tried to like at least get something for sure.
They've been pretty big too. Like I remember 2 years ago they did Persona, Joker, and Smash.
Yep.
And they did Ultimate Alliance 3 exclusivity on the Switch. The year after that they revealed the Xbox. And I think Godfall, which was the launch title for PS5. So they do some... Yeah, not that it was any good, but...
Painful.
But yeah, no. We'll see. I guess we'll see.
All right, is that it?
I think that's it. I think we're good. We're good for now. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. we'll talk more, but off mic. All right, that'll be it for this week's episode of Press A to Talk, and we will see y'all next week.
See you guys.
See ya.